Hello, Phil from Cape York. Hope you're well. Another cracking day here. A little bit hot, but the sun is out. The water is blue. Sky is blue. It is t-shirt and shorts all day long. It's 10 to 2 in the afternoon. Straight into it, this one. So the title is that if it sells once, it'll sell twice. Although I don't have years of I guess, data to back this up. This has happened to me too much to be a coincidence. So I'm going to try to work out what I can find out about it. It might be hypothetical, but let me find out. But for this, I'm going to sit down and do it all properly. Okay, so I've been doing a heap of research on clips of mine that have sold. Again, that's why I love discount packs, because it gives you information, not just sales. I was always of the opinion, especially being a relative novice in my stock video adventures, that I'd rather sell one clip 200 times at $1 each than that same clip $200 once, because it gives me more information. $200 once is someone's either clicked on the wrong one, or they're in a bind, they're short of time. Yep, beauty, that's it, $200 done. Whereas the one that sells 200 times at $1 each gives me information. It tells me that it's got more value. It tells me that it's got that wide appeal. But as the title suggests, I think I'm wrong about everything. Big call, stay with me on this one. So I am prepping the car. I've got a massive drive because the car's got a problem with the gearbox. So I'm doing a 12-hour drive in a few days' time to go and get diagnosed and leave it there and hopefully get it fixed, and then fly back. And then fly back down and pick it up. One of the perils of living fairly remote is easy things become very difficult. But back to the topic. So I'm just going to talk while I work, if that's all right. Please forgive me. But I think I was wrong. So my whole thing is about stock footage is that give the buyer multiple options, give them different angles of the same shot, give them, and again, my own thinking, wide, mid, close, and then a unique shot. And then the buyer's got options, and hell, they might want to buy 2 or 3 of the same clip, and then you're making twice as much money. But my own sales don't reflect that concept. They don't reflect that thinking. Now I've certainly got enough months in the game now to that I've got useful kind of sales data to back it up. I'm having my sales basically it'll I'm selling one clip out of a whole series, and then within 3 months, 6 months, sometimes a couple of weeks, it'll sell again. So it's the title I'm talking here is, if it sells once, it sells twice. But then all the other clips in the series, they don't sell at all. Is it an algorithm thing? It's could be. I was doing a bit of research on the chatter on the internet and whatnot about the algorithm and how it pushes clips up and down. But you sell the clip, it probably moves up a few pages, so hey, this one's recently sold based on this topic, all your keywords and all that sort of thing. Buyer finds it, buyer buys it, and then that propels it in the ratings. And then if it moves up from page 10 to page 4 or something, the chances are more people are going to see it, because they're looking for what they want. I know myself, when I'm doing my own research, I'm looking through probably the first half a dozen pages, and then the search becomes so diluted that you wander off to another option, or you at that point you kind of refine the keywords or whatever to try to find what what you're actually looking for, what you're researching, or it confirms your hypothesis. Oh, well, there's there's a lack of X, Y, Z. There's a lack of red-headed writers with holding a pen in their left hand or whatever, because half a dozen pages into it, the search is so diluted with all sorts of random shit that it's either confirmed what you suspect, or you've given up because it's null and void, and you refine your search and you search again. But I'm having these clips that are selling once, and then within 3 months they're selling again, and then nothing else sells. And that's really forced me to rethink, I guess, what my own perception of stock footage. I mean, looking at these clips here, so first one up. Now this deadbolt one, it sold in April and it sold in July. So it's within 3 months. It sold twice. I grabbed a couple of other variants of angles of this one, but this one sold twice. None of the others got a look in at all. None of them have sold, and it's such a basic shot. And then this one here, which is a palm cockatoo, which is one of my favourite birds. They live up all around here, and they're really a beautiful bird. Super endangered, super kind of ancient, niche bird, really iconic to this area. This one sold, and this one sold. So I've just jotted this down. This one sold in March, and then 3 months later it sold again. And actually, the two sales got me thinking, well, I should lean into this topic a bit more. And I went because there is a palm cockatoo that hangs around this yard. I went and I got a swag more other shots, and I got out here with the long lens, and got the one that sold twice isn't even my best shots. I've since got so much better shots where he's more engaging. He's dancing around. He's more vocal. But those haven't sold. It's just this one sells, and then 3 months sells again. Fishing charter one. I've done heaps of shots of me fishing, all sorts of different angles, slow-mo, casting, point of view, wides, showing the landscape, really super detailed close-in ones, of flipping the bail over, all that sort of thing, all just, different kind of quirks of fishing. Again, give the buyer more angles. But then the one that sold and then 3 weeks later sold again is this super basic, bent over fishing rod, nothing but a fishing rod, just because the lure in the water on the back of a boat, and just against blue sky. Super simple, it's handheld, but it's not really, there's no real movement to it. Same as the deadbolt one, same as the palm cockatoo ones. They're all fixed images, and it's sort of, it got me wondering. That was 3 weeks. Got me wondering I think it's now all about, visual solutions. Like the buyer has a problem and they're trying to show a problem, and maybe more high-end people want, high-end buyers want the multiple angles, so they can clip it together with cutaway shots and different angles and things like that. But the stuff that I'm selling at $5, $6, $10, $15 a pop, it tells the story, and it visually shows a problem and the solution within a single frame. You could freeze frame any of these clips that I'm talking about now, and within a second, and even just by looking at the thumbnail, you can already picture the problem and the solution. The deadbolt, no one wants to see man locking house, but you're looking at the concept of insurance, home security, people not wanting to feel unsafe in their own home, people taking that extra step, locking the house. It does paint 1,000 words in such a basic clip.
you know, I honestly think I've got it all wrong, because my biggest sellers are the most basic ones. It sells, and then 3 months later it sells again, and they offer visual solutions to the problem that the buyer is offering. Another one, a battery charger. I borrowed a battery charger off a bloke I work with, and it had like a semi kind of digital interface, but one of my boat batteries was fucked, and chucked it on, put it on charge, and it just come up with the 3 dunk dunk flashing lights, and I just filled the frame with that and recorded it, and again that sold, and within 2 weeks it sold again. And I grabbed some other clips of, putting alligator clips, charging the battery, like putting them on one side, the red side, the black side, both at once. Again, a few different angles, what I thought I was doing. Thought, okay, give the buyer some options. But no, they wanted a full frame of just this one with the flashing lights. Why? Because no one cares about a battery, but what does a faulty battery look like? And that's what it is. You can freeze the frame at any point, and that's the answer to the problem. It is a visual solution to the problem that the buyer is promoting. Because I'm presuming the stuff that I'm selling is for people just doing little, just doing kind of YouTube videos or information tutorials, things like that. The buyer really needs to communicate a problem, and then they want to show what the solution is in the easiest and quickest way. They don't want a 30-second clip with a very slow intro and leading into it, and then people going, they're talking about a faulty battery. They need to show a battery in the first couple of seconds. All these times where I'm doing a nice reveal and all this sort of thing, maybe that's all wrong. I don't know. Maybe if you're doing high-end real estate or something, I'd personally love to see those nice reveals, but not as the initial shot. But your clip that you've got up there, the battery charger or the deadbolt or whatever, your clip is the visual solution to the problem that the buyer is putting out there. So it was a real aha moment. Because you're capturing answers to whatever the buyer is actually trying to show. And I think I had it all about face. My whole wide, medium, close, couple of detail shots, and then a unique angle where it's a point of view, or whether it's a time lapse or something. But my own sales data is not backing up what I'm thinking. And obviously, in the stock footage industry, there's so few feedback metrics and stuff like that. Like, how do you know if your shit sells anyway? Like, your measure of success is just if the clip sells. And even then, fucking hell, dust. Oh, fucking hell. Even then, it sells, but you don't know why it's sold. You very, very rarely see where it's gone, and even rarer again would you be able to work out the seller's motivation for buying it. I probably should be filming this. Dusty air filter, cleaning out car maintenance. I'm not going to set that up, I'm just going to get this shit done. I've got too much to do today. What's time? 10 to 10. But a little bit of a ranty video. and I guess I apologise about that, but this has potentially reframed my whole mindset of, yes, you might get 10, 12 clips of different angles, different points of view, different unique stuff, but what's the point of just bumping your numbers up if it's just for the sake of you saying, oh, I've got 10,000 clips online? Well, if only 400 of them are selling, then what's the point? I could be wrong. Like I've got 770 clips on Black Box. I've got another 75 on Shutterstock. Shutterstock's my kind of stuff that doesn't really fit with my other themes, because obviously I'm trying to do like Australian based stuff. So if something's like trips overseas or whatever, I generally don't put it on Black Box. But 770 clips, and I've probably only got about, probably should have worked this out, I would say 60 of them have sold. A lot of them have sold twice. I've probably, I could count the ones on one hand with digits to spare that have sold more than twice. And I have done pretty comprehensive themes of like my two biggest sellers overall would be bushfires and variants of that, and ocean plastic and rubbish, and they're pretty big themes to explore. But then I've got 50, 60 clips for each of those. So I mean, it's just my theory is you just corner the market, and then if someone wants a bushfire clip with an Australian feel to it, they've got no choice but to buy your own clips. But again, there'd be 90-95% of those that haven't sold. An ocean plastic one that's sold twice, and that's not even my personal favourite one. That's not the most cinematic with the best lighting, nice kind of camera slides and reveals. Like I put so much time into good, revealing shots of picking up rubbish, empty beach, and then coming through. And I love those shots because they make me feel like I'm actually creating something worthwhile and kind of cool. But if they don't sell, then what's the point? Does not the buyer just want a straight up shot of rubbish that's just on the beach? Like it's literally a visual metaphor for whatever thing they're running with. But I'm going to finish this. I've got heaps of stuff to do. Still got to the shops. Still got to finish checking over the car. It needs fuel. I need to fill up a couple of Jerry's. Check the tyres. Check the spare. Get it on flatter ground and check the oil again because it's a bit wonky. Clean out the airbox. But I hope, that's kind of something I just wanted to run by you. I would love to know your own results. Am I wrong with what I think I'm wrong about? Now, there's a fucking perplexing topic for you. Does your sales results say otherwise? I'd love to honestly find out more about this because it's kind of got me a bit stumped here. Like imagine if everything you set up sold within 3 months, 6 months, that'd be amazing. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Heaps to do. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta. I might film.